Good afternoon, everyone, from the IBD newsroom. Welcome to Stock Market Today. My name is Ken Shreve, joined by Justin Nielsen. On today's show, we'll take a look at what happened in the major indexes. Small caps hit pretty hard today, and growth stocks under pressure for the second straight session. But selling in the Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ somewhat muted. But before we get into all that, let's throw it over to Justin, who's got three stocks to watch for today's video. Justin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ken. Yeah, we'll take a look at Five Below, which was our stock of the day today, and a breakout. Also, NIO, which we were kind of talking about some of the weakness yesterday, had a strong bounce off its 50-day moving average line today. And Take-Two Interactive Software, which is setting up in a potential 3 weeks tight.
Okay, well, let me get this share going here. Okay, well, let's start by taking a look at the NASDAQ here. Ends with a loss of, call it about 0.4%. Looks like we had lower volume from Monday. Volume on the NYSE.
Looks like right now I'm seeing the Russell 2000.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
Yeah.
Let me get that back. Okay.
So still seeing the Russell 2000, but that's worth looking at too.
Well, I'll tell you
but
what.
Maybe the IWM instead.
Yeah, let me
so we don't get the update on that.
Let me find the. Sorry about that, folks. Just 1 second.
And you know what? It looks like I'm seeing your Wanda instead of MarketSmith.
Okay.
I think that's where the problem lies.
All right. So we're gonna share here. Okay.
There we go.
How's that looking? All right.
That's looking like a NASDAQ composite chart.
Okay, so here we have the NASDAQ down 0.4% today in lower volume. And Justin, a lot of people calling for a market pullback here. Are we seeing signs yet that the NASDAQ's ready to pull back? How are we looking here?
I mean, it certainly wouldn't be out of the question. We've had a very nice run. We've been holding the 10-day line for quite a ways. Haven't even really challenged the 21-day line, except for that little December 9th blip where the NASDAQ 100 got down there, but the NASDAQ composite stayed above. So, a lot of people looking at that 13,000 number saying, hey, can we do that before the end of the year? Prospects are looking a little dimmer now, but the big thing is, to look at your stocks and, are you getting hit in the stocks? And that's where a lot of the high flyers, a lot of the growth names were taking a big hit yesterday, despite the NASDAQ composite itself kind of making further inroads as a lot of the big cap names like Amazon and Microsoft were moving ahead. But, even though Amazon was up today, they weren't up enough to overwhelm some of the losses that were happening on the NASDAQ composite today.
And I mentioned another tough day for growth stocks, down sharply for the second straight session. And the Russell 2000, that's where most of the selling was today. I think at last check, the Russell 2000 was down about 1.8% or so. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. But let's start by taking a look at some interesting movers from today. Justin, you wanted to start with Five Below, ticker FIVE. Interesting retailer here.
Yeah, and there was a number of retail plays that looked like they were setting up today, and this is one that we actually put on Swing Trader yesterday ahead of this breakout from what you could call an ascending base. You might look at this as kind of a short cup here, but it's really, as MarketSmith pattern recognition shows, part of an overall ascending base pattern. And Five Below, as more of the vaccine information comes out and the prospects of reopening get higher, Five Below and a lot of these retail discount variety stores are seeing some strength. This did break out above 168.07 buy point. That's what we do, is we just add 10 cents to that 167.97 high. So it did break out today, had volume that was well above average. And again, we put this on Swing Trader yesterday in kind of anticipation as it broke above a downtrend. If you just kind of draw a little downtrend connecting those highs, you can see that it broke above that yesterday, and that was kind of our signal to get an early entry there. But this is still actionable, and as we mentioned, it is stock of the day. Adelia wrote a really nice article to give people a little background on the stock.
Yeah, and you can see volume heavy the past 2 sessions, and this ascending base is an interesting pattern. A stock breaks out and then it pulls back 3 times. So you had a pullback here, a pullback here, and then a pullback here. And you can see pattern recognition. It highlights the 3 pullbacks. The first one was 8%, the second one was 12%, and the third one was 9%. And then we can flip over to the weekly chart here and see these 3 pullbacks as well. One, two, three. And this pattern occurred over about 16, 17 weeks, which is in the time frame that you want to see in ascending base form.
Yeah. One more thing we should look at on the daily just to mention is that this is one of those blue dot specials. Whenever you see a blue dot in MarketSmith, that denotes that there is a relative strength line making new highs while it's basing. And whenever you get that relative strength line making new highs before or at the same time that the price does, that's something that we really pay attention to, because that's a really true sign of leadership.
Very good. All right, let's move on to NIO. I guess we can call NIO one of the last electric car makers from China left standing. I guess BYDDF is still hanging in there, but NIO looking pretty strong here.
Yeah, so this is one that kind of goes off the radar a little bit, because its rise was so much, that it can't even be contained by our chart. So sometimes we have to kind of change our scale in order to just fit the move. But this was, a real phenomenal move, and it's, this pullback, while it is volatile, you never want to see something that is that far extended above the 50-day come all the way down to it, because that means you're looking at a big drawdown. But the 50-day line did contain it in this case, and it got strong support there. So a big reversal today. Whenever you kind of get into challenge those lows, and then you close strong and even in positive territory like NIO did today. I mean, this was up 4.6% for the day, when a lot of things were down. So this is something that is still showing strength. It might have another run left in it, some more gas in the tank, pardon the pun. But if you get into this, you just have to be aware this could have extra volatility. Not only is it in the EV market, it is also in the China market. Sometimes there's extra volatility with both of those. So you just have to be really careful with this one.
A series of breakouts for NIO. You can see the initial breakout here over a 1545 pivot, and then right here it gapped up over a 2259 pivot, and then you could even call this another alternate entry on a breakout here. So it's kind of interesting. Trading has gotten very, very, very choppy in recent weeks, but the fact that it's still holding above its 50-day moving average, NIO proving itself a strong stock. And we'll just flip over to the weekly for a perspective here, and you can just see the massive run up this stock has made, and there was your cup with handle breakout all the way back here.
And,
all right.
And we are showing on this chart that it's off its 52-week high by about 19%. So again, even with the move today, it is still off its high considerably. But if this does get the support there, and you just think of, okay, if it does make it back to its new high in short order, that's a pretty good gain potentially in a short period of time.
Absolutely. All right. Final stock is going to be video game maker TTWO, Take-Two Interactive. And we'll start with the weekly chart here because, well, there's a lot to like about this weekly chart, right, Justin?
Yeah, so the week isn't over, but if this week ends where it is, that would be one of the patterns that we really like to see. It's called a 3 weeks tight. And especially when you have a breakout and then the stock just holds the gains, trades tightly. And in particular, what we're looking at is the weekly closes. And so far, you can see that it's just hovering all of those closes right in the same area. And Bill O'Neill, our chairman and founder, would often say that's a sign of accumulation, kind of stealthy accumulation that's going on. And he really liked to see that, whether it was in the base or shortly after a breakout. So this is very positive action to see. And if we do kind of cross above the highs of that area, again, assuming that we stay tight here for the rest of the week and maybe into next week, a break above those previous highs could be another potential entry or a place to add on to a current holding.
Excellent. Well, we always like to see tight trading after a breakout, and take two is definitely showing it. All right, Justin. Well, thanks very much as always for the insight. That'll do it for today's show. As a reminder, we'll be back on air live tomorrow morning at 6:20 a.m. Pacific time, 9:20 a.m. Eastern time for another edition of IBD Live. If you want to check out a 2-week trial, just go to investors.com/IBD Live. You can check out a 2-week trial. We go over the first hour of trading. Usually we're sometimes on air for an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, just talking about actionable setups, what the market is doing, and we hope to see you tomorrow morning. We have a good time putting on that show every morning, so be sure to check out a 2-week trial at investors.com/IBD Live. That'll do it for today. Justin and Ed will be back here tomorrow for the second to last trading day of 2020. Until then, have a great afternoon, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.